The epic conclusion, Roger and Garp teaming up going against Rocks, a battle of titans. This is One Piece chapter 1165. It is titled Reverberations. In the cover page, it was another request of Beppo and Law sleeping peacefully using Zeus as a pillow. It's really cute. Anytime we get to see Law drawn, I'm here for it. I love Law. You guys love Law. He's one of the One Piece favorites, or one of the best characters One Piece. So we love it whenever he gets some screen time, but that's the cover page. Let's get into chapter 1165's breakdown. In the last chapter, we know that Rocks ended up changing sides because of Imu's Domi Reversi and started just wreaking havoc all across God Valley, whether it was, taking out Big Mom, taking out Kaido, clashing with Whitebeard. It didn't matter. Imu ordered Xebec to wipe out everyone on the island, and so guess what? He was headed to do that, but two individuals stepped up, locked it, and stood in his way. That was Roger and Garp, and that's where we pick up with this chapter. I also forgot to mention, in the last chapter, Xebec was communicating with Roger and Garp, telling them to kill him with the voice of all things, and this, I would say, confirms different users that have the ability to use the voice of all things. We know Luffy could use it in the current story. We saw during a flashback that Roger could use it as well, but I feel like this also confirms that Garp and Xebec can use it. Roger and Garp, they know that something is up because Xebec is attacking them, but his voice is, telling them, hey, stop me, don't let me do this, and he's just showcasing pain on his face through tears, so his actions are contradicting his thoughts. But I mean, shoot, he's still attacking him, so Roger, he had to coat his blade in Conquerors, and the same with Xebec. The two of them clash. Mind you, black blades is not permanent, but well, we don't really ever see characters even coat their blades in hockey like this, so I feel like we gotta give credit when credit is due. And then, we gotta give Garp a shout out. We gotta give Garp a shout out because he don't have a devil fruit, he doesn't have a weapon. No, he has his hands. He says his hands are E for everyone, like Yusuke Urameshi. And he cracked Rocks. I'm talking infused his fist with hockey. It was one of the nastiest punches I have ever seen Oda draw. Even with the two of them, it is not enough. Rocks still sends the two of them flying. Now, I will say, during the different clashes that they had, it was enough to split the sky. Now, when we talk about splitting the sky, this is an impressive feat. I want to start off by saying that, but with different top tier characters, honestly, I feel like this should be the standard. So yes, like I said, I want to reiterate, splitting the sky is impressive. There are not many characters in One Piece that can do that. But we shouldn't necessarily be shocked that top tier characters, especially those that we usually glaze and say they're top 3, that they're top 5. And if anything, it should be a problem if they didn't split the sky. Enough is enough, right? They get out the rubble. Whenever anime characters at times, they slowly but surely showcase their power, it's infuriating to me a little bit, but it has to build tension. We see it all the time. It's not just One Piece. I mean, shoot, let's say Goku, for example. We know he has access to Blue, to Ultra Instinct, but why the heck do we gotta see him fight in base and the same thing's happening here? They're like, all right, let's sit up in their chair. Enough is enough. Both Roger and Garp, they called their respective crews and they're like, hey, go ahead and set sail. We'll be back. They take off their jackets, form a temporary truce, and they're about to get active. They're about to start fighting seriously. And the moment that they say that, they both start bobbing, they both start weaving, they're picking up Xebec, slamming him, tossing around, using different blades. They're trying their very best to be able to break him free of the Domi Reversi. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and are enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. After taking that attack from Xebec, Kaido and Big Mom, they're up again. This is just highlighting how durable these monsters are, and we get a little bit of dialogue between the two. Big Mom, she's mad at Kaido, saying, hey, after eating that devil fruit, you owe me for the rest of your life. And Kaido, he's like, you you old bat, it's finders keepers. It's not my fault you were just slow. This explains why Kaido and Big Mom have the beef that they have. Remember when Big Mom was going to Wano, Kaido was like, hey, you old lady, don't set foot here. If you do, it's going to be on sight. Why, whenever Big Mom arrived, Kaido unchained her. They started going back and forth for 3 days. Well, yeah, this explained it. It all happened because of God Valley. We got to talk about Whitebeard. I mentioned in the last chapter he clashed with Xebec, but a few chapters ago there was an individual that was fighting, and it was someone that looked like Marco. Well, that's because more likely than not, and I'm saying this, it's all but confirmed, this is Marco's father. His name is Polo Graham. He claimed that he is a big fan of Whitebeard and asked to team up with him because, well, shoot, Whitebeard has nowhere else to go, and I would say how everything worked is that Polo Graham, he is Marco's father, had Marco when, well, in the earlier stages, and then when he died, Whitebeard ended up looking after him, and that's how Marco and Whitebeard have this close relationship. I saw some people talk about Polo Graham, you know, looking like Marco, or, you know, how they met and everything was a little bit lazy by Oda. I don't necessarily get that. I mean, would we honestly care? Do we care who the fluff Marco's father is? No, it still is going to make us love Marco as a character. And honestly, if we don't get any lore about Polo Graham, I think we'll be okay with that. Shout out Dragon. Shout out Big Dragon. He gets a lot of slander, and rightfully so, but in this instance, oh, he grew some balls. He ended up taking over a ship, and he was like, all right, had the shotgun now, had the blicky. He was like, you see them slaves out there? We're taking them on the ship. If anyone disagrees, I'm shooting you on the spot. Shout out Dragon. And also shout out Rayleigh and Gabon, because they end up going back to God Valley. Now, I personally think that they're going back because of what happens later. Roger's fighting this extreme death fight. He's going to be drained, going to be tired. He needs someone to look after him, and that's the role that Zoro and Sanji play for Luffy. Some people might say, hey, maybe they might get an attack in on Xebec. It's a possibility, but I highly doubt. God Valley does not exist, and this is coming from Imu. Imu ordered this, and we knew a little bit about this, what Sengoku was hinting and insinuating back in chapter 957, but the narrator goes in a little bit more detail that this was S tier, super, quadruple, whatever, that's not even a word, but you need top tier level clearance to be able to access this, because it's that classified. Any registry of different participants in the hunting game, those that were captured, anything associated with the island, consider it E-rate. Now, cutting back to Garp and Roger, they had been fighting for such a long time. They're catching their breath. They're trying to analyze the situation because they're like, okay, why isn't this working? And while they're catching their breath, I love Roger, his statement here. He's like, hey, you know, Garp, you didn't know about the monsters that happened. He's talking about Emu, the Gorosei. He's like, you didn't know about that. How about this? When everything's all said and done, I like you, Garp. Come join my crew. Garp's like, I know you didn't just ask me that. No, I'm not gonna join the crew. Are you an idiot? If I were to join, who would be the person that protects the Marine? So this explained why Garp, after knowing everything, after being exposed to everything, and just the whole situation that happened at God Valley, this is the reason why he decided to stay. And I plan on making an in-depth video about Garp, well, after this statement. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe for that. You guys are gonna love it. As I mentioned, the two of them, they're trying to figure out how the fluff are they gonna beat this souped up Xebec. Roger confirmed that he had been using both armament hockey and both advanced conquerors coding. He's like, all right, with all this, there is no way in hell that I have not done any damage. To which Garp, and honestly, I'm actually surprised, and maybe some people in the community have thought about this, but I've never truly thought about it, and it makes logical sense. Obviously, if you're fighting someone that also has Conquerors Hockey, if you're using Conquerors Hockey coding, well, why the heck would you think that they're not coding themselves in it as like some form of defense to protect themselves from your attack? That makes logical sense. and it would, well, yeah, cancel the attacks out. So the next level is using an attack that surpasses the normal Conquerors Haki coding, attacking with essentially a supercharged version of that, which means having attacks with a critical amount of mass of Supreme King Haki. That is the next level that Luffy and Zoro need to reach. That's how they'll properly be able to wield this type of Haki and defeat different people like the Gorosei, the Holy Knights, Emu, the people that they've been struggling with. Roger and Garp, they are gearing up their final attack. They're ready to put Rocks out of his misery. Roger, he charges up with the God of Fire Ace. Garp uses Infinitium Explosion to attack Rocks and successfully defeat him. Now, who actually was the person that kills Rocks? I think that's something that we'll figure out in the next chapter, or if Oda just decides to go on somewhere else and then eventually bring us back to this moment, I could see that as well. But Rocks' downfall and all of the rock pirates just going out doing their own thing, it actually has, well, the opposite effect of what Emu thought by covering stuff up. It actually influenced just the pirate world in general, and there's different reverberations that were just happening throughout the world, and I can't wait to see how this incident is directly impacting those that were directly involved in God Valley. So I'm talking like Kuma, Ivankov, Dragon, you know, how they ended up growing, as well as, hey, did it inspire others to become pirates, marines, etc. But that's it for chapter 1165. Let me know how you guys felt about it in the comment section below. We're on break next week. Oda deserved it. We had back-to-back bangers. He deserves this break. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. And don't forget to unleash your potential.